Ever feel like you're juggling chainsaws when cases come in from all directions
Yeah.
in the lab? You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely.
We're diving deep into a tool that promises to tame that chaos. It's called the Lab Work Tracker.
Okay.
It's built into the Dentistry Dashboard
Interesting.
and could be a game changer for how you manage your workload.
You know what's neat?
What's that?
The Lab Work Tracker is really adaptable.
Okay,
It works whether you're collaborating with dentists or if you're handling cases on your own.
so it streamlines things either way.
Exactly.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So let's walk through this step by step.
Sure.
First things first, logging in. It's the same dentistry dashboard
Right.
that everyone else uses,
Right.
but you'll want to make sure your profile is set up as a technician.
Oh, that's important. And don't forget to add in your lab details and logo.
Oh yeah.
That's a nice touch for dentists
Yeah.
when they place orders.
Branding, always important.
Always.
Now, once you're in, you'll see three main views: board, table, and calendar. Got it.
But for getting a handle on your workflow,
Yeah,
the board view
Okay.
is going to be your best friend.
I can see why.
It's visual and intuitive and makes managing tasks easy. Think of it like a digital whiteboard with different columns for
Yeah.
each stage of a case.
Makes sense. But before those orders start coming in,
Yeah.
you need to tell the system what you actually do.
Okay, sure. Yeah.
So this is where you define your services.
Yeah.
Crowns, bridges, dentures, the work.
So basically setting up my lab's menu of expertise.
Exactly. And each service also has a delivery day attached to it.
How does that work?
You decide maybe crowns take 2 days,
Okay.
bridges take 5.
Got it.
You get the idea. And that's how the system helps you set realistic deadlines right from the beginning.
Deadlines, check.
Uh,
But how does this thing prevent me from getting overbooked?
that's where capacity comes in. You decide how much work you can handle each day.
It's like a daily limit.
Yes, exactly. This ensures you're not taking on more than you can actually deliver. Okay. So how does the system track that?
You define what a unit of work means.
Okay,
Maybe a crown equals 2 units,
but
a bridge equals 5.
gotcha.
The system then tracks the total units used each day,
Okay.
regardless of what services they are, to make sure you don't go over that limit.
That's pretty clever.
Yeah, it takes the guesswork out of scheduling.
I'm guessing there's flexibility in there too.
Absolutely.
Like what if I want to offer express bookings?
Oh yeah, for those rush jobs.
Yeah, exactly.
You can set that up for each service. Just remember, those usually come with a higher price.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Now, what about days off? I don't want the system thinking I'm making crowns on a Sunday.
No. You can set your days off in the calendar view.
Okay.
And the system is smart enough to know
Right.
that it will automatically factor that in to
Right.
the delivery day calculations. So you won't be promising deliveries when the lab is closed.
That's a relief. Okay, so we've got our services defined, capacity set, days off are marked. Now, how do dentists actually place these orders?
This is where it gets really interesting. So dentists, using the Dentistry Dashboard, they can select your lab and choose what services they need.
Okay.
And get this, they can even order multiple things at once.
So they don't have to create separate orders,
Exactly.
like crowns and bridges all in a single booking.
Yes, exactly. And here's the best part. The Lab Work Tracker is smart.
Okay.
It will calculate the earliest due date possible,
Oh.
taking into account your capacity and the delivery days for all those services.
Okay, I'm starting to see how this really simplifies things.
It does.
But before we get into how to manage those orders day to day,
Yeah.
there's one more thing I'm curious about.
Okay.
What if I'm working with a dentist who's not using the Dentistry Dashboard?
Oh, good question.
Can I still use the Lab Work Tracker?
Absolutely.
Oh, okay.
You can manually add bookings for those dentists.
So it's like a bridge between the old way and the new way of doing things.
Exactly. But honestly, once you get the hang of the Lab Work Tracker,
Yeah,
you'll want all your dentists to get on board.
I bet.
It really streamlines the workflow when everyone's on the same system.
Yeah, less back and forth, fewer mistakes.
For sure.
Everyone's on the same page.
Exactly.
But let's dive into what happens once those orders come rolling in.
Oh, okay.
How do you manage things day to day?
Well, that's where those different views we talked about really shine.
Okay.
To get the most out of the Lab Work Tracker,
Yeah.
we really need to understand how they work together.
All right.
We should probably talk more about that after a quick break.
Sounds good. So we talked about setting up the Lab Work Tracker and how dentists can actually place their orders.
Right.
Now let's get into how you manage all those orders every day
Sure.
and keep everything running smoothly.
That's where the different views that we talked about come in.
Okay.
You have the board view, the table view, and the calendar view. They all show the same information, just in different ways.
Oh, it's
Like looking at a map from different angles.
So it's all about finding what view works for you and how you like to organize your work.
Exactly. And let's start with the board view.
Okay.
Remember we talked about it being like a digital whiteboard?
Yeah, like a digital whiteboard with the sticky notes.
Well, think of each case as a digital sticky note.
Okay, I can visualize that.
So as a new order comes in, you'll see it pop up on your board view in the booked column. It's like your to-do list for the day.
Okay.
Then as you work on a case, you just drag and drop it over to the next column. In progress.
Right.
And once it's done and ready to go back to the dentist, you move it to sent and you're done.
So it's like a visual representation of my workflow.
Exactly. And the best part is you can actually hide completed cases
Really?
from the board to keep things clean.
So out of sight, out of mind.
Exactly. But don't worry, they're not gone for good.
Okay.
You can always access them if you need to.
That's a relief. I was going to say, I don't want to lose all that information.
No, it's still there. Now, if you are more of a list person
Yeah.
and you like spreadsheets,
Uh-huh.
the table view is going to be perfect for you.
Oh, yeah. I know some lab techs who live and breathe spreadsheets.
It's a great tool.
Yeah.
It gives you a detailed list of all your cases with filters so you can sort and search by anything you need.
Wow.
Dentist, due date, type of service.
Nice.
You can even see the payment status of each case.
Oh, that's handy for keeping track of invoices.
Yeah.
And making sure you get paid.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got the board view for a visual workflow, the table view for like data and details. What about the calendar view? What's its best feature?
The calendar view is like your command center for scheduling.
Yeah.
It's where you can see everything laid out in a calendar format.
Right?
So you can see which days are fully booked, how much capacity you have left,
Okay.
and when your deliveries are due.
So a great way to stay on top of things and avoid any surprises.
Speaking of surprises, let's talk about overbooking for a sec.
Yeah.
I know the system's designed to prevent it,
Yeah.
but what happens if I accidentally add a booking that puts me over capacity for the day? Does it like sound the alarm?
Well, it depends on how you added the booking.
Okay.
If a dentist places an order through the Dentistry Dashboard,
Right.
the system automatically checks your capacity and won't let them book something that puts you over.
Okay, that makes sense.
So it's got your back.
Yeah.
But remember how we talked about manually adding bookings for dentists who aren't using the system? Well, if you add a booking that goes over your capacity for that day, the system will let you do it.
Wait, really? Why is that?
It's about flexibility. So the system just assumes that if you're manually adding it, you have a good reason.
Okay.
Maybe you've got some extra help that day, or you've changed your schedule.
So it's like trusting me to manage my own workload, but reminding me to be careful.
Exactly. But you need to be aware of this. If you find yourself always going over capacity,
By manually adding bookings, it might be time to reassess your workflow or encourage those dentists to get on the Dentistry Dashboard.
good point. Now, I know communication is key with all this stuff.
Yeah.
How does the lab work tracker help with that?
No matter which view you're using,
Okay.
you can easily add comments to each case.
Right.
And even have conversations with the dentists right there.
So no more digging through emails or trying to figure out scribbles on lab slips.
Exactly. It's all right there. Easy to follow. You can clarify things, ask questions, even share digital impressions.
Wow.
All within the system. It keeps everyone on the same page.
Okay, this is starting to sound like a dream come true. Clear deadlines, no more overbooking, easy.